Listeners, today I am unbelievably honored to welcome Salem, Virginia Mayor Renée Turk. Sworn in back in July of 2020, Mayor Turk was voted the first female mayor in the 52-year history of Salem. And she's also the first female to serve as a mayor of Salem, Roanoke City, or Vinton. A Roanoke College graduate, Mayor Turk has taught business classes at Salem High School, was the general sales manager at Saturn of Roanoke Valley, and an account executive for Q99. She retired from Wheeler Broadcasting in 2014, which led into her role into government. Her leadership role in local government was one of the many reasons she was included in our March-April Women's feature on Leading Ladies, written by the incomparable Laura Wade, which you can, of course, read the feature in our latest issue on newsstands now or see more at theroanoker.com. Hi, Mayor Turk. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Oh, it's an honor to be here.
Oh, it's so exciting to have you here, the first female mayor. That is just what an accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Now, you actually grew up right here in the Roanoke Valley. You attended Jefferson High School in the city of Roanoke, which is now Jefferson Center, I believe.
Yes, that dates me, doesn't it?
Well, just a little bit. That's all right. It's a wonderful spot for live shows anyway. So.
Yes.
And then you enrolled at Virginia Western Community College, eventually transferring to Roanoke College, which is one of our very favorite higher ed spots in town.
Definitely.
And you graduated in 1977 after earning your bachelor's degree in business administration, economics, and education. You couldn't just go for one, huh?
No, had to do a tripos. That gives you about 20 credit hours actually each area.
You're right.
So, it was like, yeah, I think I'm doing all three.
Well, I think that's actually a really nice way to learn your personality from the get-go. It seems like you're an overachiever in the best way possible.
I've been told that before.
Yeah. We were just talking about how you don't sleep at night because you're too busy thinking of all the great things that you could be doing to serve Salem.
I tell you what, and the only way to get rid of all of that is to get up and do something about it right at that moment, or have a notepad that you can write on, but usually get up and make it happen.
Right. So I don't encourage you to email her at 3 a.m., but you might actually get a response back.
Yeah, you probably could. People have.
So you became Salem, Virginia's first female mayor in 2020, and I was curious about if you would be able to tell us about your experience and the responsibility that sort of entails.
Oh, my goodness. Well, being a member of council is a great responsibility in itself. Being selected mayor was surprising, exciting. I had no doubts that it would be something that I couldn't do. I knew it was something I would just go after. And it was, when people look at things from the outside, they don't realize the number of organizations, councils, boards, commissions, meetings, and events that you have to attend.
This isn't a once-a-meeting-week kind of thing.
No, it really isn't. They see that a mayor maybe goes to city council twice a month in Salem, the second and fourth Monday of the month. Mm-hmm. But I decided it was important for me to get out in the community as much as possible, to go to as many meetings as I possibly could that were either regional meetings or meetings through the city, government meetings. And it keeps you very busy because not only that, there are different groups that come to the city that you're the face of the city for, that you welcome, that you give speeches, you cut ribbons, you answer emails, you meet with citizens. the list could go on and on and on. But I love people. So doing that for me is just natural. It's easy. It's good. I want to hear what people have to say. I want to be open. I want to be available. And that's what a local government succeeds on, is empowering people, making sure people are involved, listening to what they have to say, evaluate all the angles, and then try to do what's best for the citizens of that community. I don't consider myself a politician. I tell people, please don't call me that. Call me a public servant, because I think that you're serving people. You're not out there for the glory and the ego and all of that. You're out there to do what you can do with your cohorts, with your colleagues, that as a group you discuss, you evaluate, and you come to what you all, each one feels might be the best decision for your city. So it's a very involved job as mayor. It is, of course, as a council member also, because they do a great job getting out to different things with me, which I think is really important. Right. So you can tell I could just go, oh,
that's all right. Spoken like a powerful female leader. I love it. And I was kind of curious, for citizens to elect you and for the council and for you to be in this position, what does that mean for you to publicly serve the community and for them to come to you when they have problems or concerns?
Well, to me, it's an honor. It's a very humbling feeling. It's a very, it's the type of thing where I need to listen. I want to know. Who do I need to go to? What do I need to ask? How do I educate myself about this? Do I go online? Do I go to this department head? So there's a lot that's involved. but it's very humbling, and to me, it's a great responsibility, and I really feel honored to be able to represent citizens and meet with them.
I think that's so interesting. You noticed education. You're educating yourself, because clearly, if you don't have the answer that someone is seeking, it's your responsibility to also go find that answer.
I'm not afraid to say I don't know. And I think that if you, and see, I'm a past educator. So to me,
incredibly important, by the way. Thank you for your work there as well.
Sure.
Of course,
but to me, I always believe that my father, my parents, my mother encouraged, if you don't know, learn. If you can read, you can learn. If you can talk and ask questions, you can learn. There is nobody in the city that can do any more if you push yourself to your full potential, and that you are open to new ideas and ready to attack whatever it is. Look outside the box, approach things. You will grow. You will learn. You can be what you want to be. You just have to be willing to work hard enough.
I got chills, guys. Who's ready to jump on the bandwagon with me and let's go do some stuff for Mayor Turk?
We need women and men, people that are willing to take some time and get involved, to look at what's out there. There are councils for citizens that we could use people on, men and women alike. But I think sometimes women get intimidated because they think, well, I've got the kids, I've got this job, I've got to get home, It does take cooperation if you have a partner, it does take working together to be able to support each other. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my husband, David, who has always been supportive of anything that I want to do, just like I've always been extremely supportive of every sport he's coached, whether it's lacrosse, whether it's volleyball, whatever teams he's involved with, the support goes both ways.
Right. And we were talking before we started the interview, actually, we're talking about how you don't always necessarily hear the term, I'm the working dad. And so I find it very interesting. You pointed out specifically it's very important for you to have a supportive partner, should that be available in your life.
Exactly.
And so for you, I think that that's very telling, because we were just talking about how your husband has worked with other strong women, and he would never stand in anybody's way to make sure that they are reaching to the top of what they want to be.
Exactly. Our daughter is a doctor of psychology, and Rachel is a very strong-willed young lady.
Sure, she learned from the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, she definitely learned, that's for sure. But our young men are too, Michael and Daniel. They're both very strong in their beliefs, very driven in what they do, and it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Good servant leaders for future of the Roanoke Valley and beyond.
I hope so.
Perfect.
I certainly hope so.
We'll talk a little bit about your family to come here, but we wanted to talk about, being a mayor in your position. It's so interesting, and you've listed a lot of things that you do. Yes. And we were just talking about all the things that you had to do before you even showed up in our studio today.
Right.
And I was curious about what an average day in the life of the Salem mayor, what does that look like for you?
Oh, wow. My husband would say it looks like a chicken with her head cut off.
You probably start at 2 a.m.
Actually, I didn't go to bed to 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
So sometimes that happens. But
so start with a giant cup of coffee. Got it.
You know what? Yeah. It's very necessary. But it's mostly trying to get where I need to be early wherever it is I'm going, observe what's going on, look at body language, then jump in and do what I need to do. But a lot of times, and it's so funny because, I told you earlier, I sent my schedule to my husband and my son going, okay, I'm not home for supper again tonight, so here's what you need to know, fend for yourselves, and they will.
That's the point of having a supportive partner.
But a day can be anywhere from going to a meeting at City Hall to meeting with Parks and Recreation and looking to see what they've got going on at Moyer Complex, which is being renovated right now, which is just totally awesome. It's going to be a gem and a half.
Can't wait.
Or meeting with the people that are actually opening a new business like Ridgeview Bank with Carrie McConnell this morning. Yes, you were just
there with her this morning.
10 o'clock, cut the ribbon, and right there, the first branch in Southwest Virginia, fantastic, right on Main Street in Salem. So,
P.S. You can also see Carrie in our Leading Ladies feature with Mayor Turk.
I noticed that when I was like, oh yeah, there's Carrie. We just talked this morning. So, to answering emails, to meeting with the Economic Development Authority or the Director of Economic Development or businesses. So it just is a multitude and a variety of so many different things. Kind of is like right up my my alley of being around people and enjoying anything that can further help the city of Salem.
Sure. It's like all your past experience really led you to this.
Well, it really did, and I didn't know it at the time.
Of course.
It's so funny. I went to Girl State when I was at Jefferson High School, and I was so lost. I was the mayor of my city, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, so here it is, like 50, I'm not going to say how many years later, and it's happened.
That's amazing.
And sometimes I wish I had started a little earlier, but I will say being retired has been an extreme advantage to allowing me to be able to do so much. That's not always an easy thing for mayors in any city. A lot of them are working full-time jobs and aren't able to, but it's been a blessing for me.
Now tell me, do you keep a pair of giant scissors in the back of your car?
I don't, but the girl from the chamber does.
So you always got her around. Got it.
Yeah, she does really good. They all do.
So in our Leading Ladies feature, the women that were featured in it offered fantastic advice that you're going to be able to see at the end of the piece. And so you had great advice. And I was curious about your advice for women seeking leadership positions, particularly in government.
Part of it is don't think you can't do it. Oh, just do it.
Perfect.
It doesn't take anything more than being willing to learn and educate yourself and going after it. Because basically, what did I know about government? Seriously. I mean, I remember my government class in high school, but I don't remember anything about how local government is run. But you educate yourself. You take the time to look and see, and you find out what strengths you can offer to what there is out there. And I'm guessing for me, it's being around people and being able to just express, the love for the city and the people that I represent and doing whatever we can to help the city grow. And so for women thinking about it, please do it. It doesn't have to be necessarily a position as mayor, but run for your councils, join your commissions, look online to see what your area has available for you. We need people that are willing to give just a little bit of time and share their thoughts. There's nothing better than a well-balanced board, commission, or group of people, male, female, whoever's interested in doing or whatever they're interested in doing, to be able to share their thoughts.
I think you've really hit a key point there, which is to build on the strengths that you already have. You're not educate yourself on things you don't know, but build on what you have and what you do well. And I think that that's a really special critique, because a lot of people think they have to go into something and know everything about whatever subject it is.
That's exactly right. And they think, I can't do that. It was like when someone came to me and said, why don't you run for city council? I was like, well, I don't know a whole lot about local government, but I do know economics. I do know about business. I do know I do see things. Maybe there is something I can contribute.
Right.
So, basically it's just discussing things and using common sense and evaluating in a logical order what it is that people think needs to happen. Or you have staff people that advise you, or they give you, you ask them to find out certain things. So it works together. You work as a team. And it's not one person. There is not power in the position of a mayor. In the Salem system, it is a weak mayor system. There are 5 of us on council. We make a decision. It's not the mayor making a decision. So you have, you are surrounded by a board or a commission or a council, and you work together. It's the same that you do at work. You work with a team of people. You can do the same for your government or your locality. Good people are needed.
So, and I think that's a fabulous point. So quick question before I get to the other questions we have. But when you have strong personalities discussing things that you obviously feel passionate about, particularly when you're serving the public and community, how do you, as the mayor, as the leader in that room, how do you balance all of those personalities and make sure everyone is heard, it stays respectful, things like that?
Well, I have been accused of lecturing people because when I get passionate about something, my hands start going. That's an ethnic thing because I'm Lebanese. So like Italians, we talk with our hands. We're very expressive. Our voice sometimes becomes louder. My husband goes, use your indoor voice. So a lot of times it's mistaken for anger or for, but it's passion. It is passion for what I believe in. And I think some people have started to get that. Hopefully they have.
Well, and if they don't, you're doing your job anyway.
Right. I think it's important. First of all, it's important to listen. You listen first. Anybody going to any position should move in and listen. You're not there to start changing or ripping apart anything that's been there, because people are very sensitive about that type of thing.
Great point.
But you go in and you listen and you evaluate and you give things time to see, is there a better way, or is there a newer way, or is there an alternate way? Doesn't mean it's better. I shouldn't have said that word. It just, is there an alternate way to reach our goal? We were going to get there, but there might be another way of doing that.
Or in some cases, you want to start something new, but maybe something already exists in that place that you can partner with them instead.
Yeah, I think the best thing that happens on council, we have several that have, years of experience. So I asked them about the history. Why was this done this way? What was the reasoning behind it? You ask your city manager, you ask your other, and you have to get a feel for why it's there, why it's the way it is, before you start tearing apart and thinking I can make whatever.
So day one, you didn't come in and just throw out all the laws.
Oh gosh, no. I would say, I don't think I did. Maybe some of the guys will say differently, but it's a challenge. You have to watch people's body language. You evaluate, and you present things in a nice, calm manner. You start getting passionate about it, it does get misconstrued.
Well, that's all right, because like you said, at some point you have to stand your ground and for what you're believing in and for your position, and bringing your strengths to the table and showing why it would work.
Exactly.
Or not.
Exactly. And it can be a trial. And sometimes it's not better if I suggest something. Sometimes it's better that I sit back and let other people talk about it. Because I think, for me, listening is so critical to evaluation.
Right. Not just of your peers, but your community, too. I mean, you're talking about being a servant, hearing what they have to say.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
exactly.
That's a great point.
So,
well, and so we're talking about, after that fantastic advice, I need to go apply that to every aspect of my life. But going back to the leading ladies, we were talking about, before we started recording, talking about leading ladies in the area. Obviously, Carrie McConnell, we're talking about her and what a powerhouse she's become in this region. Are there any other leading ladies that you would love to sort of share your, love for?
There are many of them. All you have to do is look at y'all's next book that comes up, next magazine that comes out, and you'll see a group. It's funny, in naming names, I'm more prone to say someone, not a specific person, but people that step up and are willing to try something, start their own business, serve as a leader of an area, like Annette Lewis, who is in charge of TAP. God bless that woman. Right. What she has to go through in order to keep the programs going and keep people employed. You look at these different nonprofits, you look at government, and you look at the different corporations around. There are women in all of them that are stepping above and beyond, and they're good with that. But other people can be good too.
Right.
Men and women.
Right.
To step up and try things, be willing to lead. It's so much about teamwork. And that's really the answer to, you may be a group, you may have a lot of women or a lot of men or whatever, but when I look at the leaders that we do have, I'm so proud of them. I am so enamored by what they are willing to give of themselves, and there could be more.
Of course, there's always room for more. I think that's really important, right?
Yes.
What is it? The rising tide lifts all ships. I mean, that's truly kind of what we stand for in the Roanoke. I think particularly in Salem and Vinton, we really believe in that because we want to support local businesses and leaders. Yeah.
Sometimes there's a mistake in the way that people view women supporting women. It's like, feminists or that is really not it. It is more on the point of saying, I get what you go through. I know what you have to deal with. I understand what you have to handle on a day-to-day basis, whether it be in your home and your job or in whatever position that you hold. So sometimes having that understanding with women leaders or women across the board, it's so important to know that there are a lot of people that support what they do.
Right. And it's sort of funny, you not particularly, it's not a good example because you're not siloed away. You're in the community talking to everybody, but it's sort of enlightening when you meet another woman or man, sorry, Spencer, our producer over here, But since we're talking about our women's issue, it's very empowering when you meet another woman who understands even just a little bit of what you're experiencing.
Right.
And even if you're just venting to each other, there's something overwhelming with relief at knowing we are in this together, just in maybe different little pieces of that puzzle.
You know, part of the traits that women possess, everybody is different. Yes, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, whatever that is. But when it comes down to it, the personality traits of each gender is critical to be worked together, to be brought together, because there are so many things that men have and there are so many things that women have. And when you put that together in a team, it equals power because it's so well balanced. Women are great multitaskers. They're nurturers. They are evaluators. They are, let's think of a solution, or looking at things from a different perspective. That perspective, and when you think about the population in Salem being 52 to 53% female, isn't it a wonder that there have only been 3 women on Salem City Council? And Jane Huff, God bless her, in 1972 was the first woman on council. Jane Johnson was on council for 16 years, a tremendous role model, a person I admire greatly. And then we had Lisa Garst, who came on board council. So, they stepped out of what a normal role would be in the city of Salem. We're a very conservative city, and we're willing to serve the people. And so much of that is the kind of things that women are used to doing, and it's good for us to look around and applaud those that do.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, you've got a team that works together to support whatever endeavor you're, in this case, the community.
Don't be threatened by what women can do. Don't be threatened by what a man does. Work the strengths together. Work what you have as a group and a team. And it's amazing what you can come out with.
It'll be as beautiful as Salem, Virginia.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right.
Right. So speaking of, we've talked about your limited downtime since you're answering emails at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But, and you've mentioned your husband and your kids. What do you guys love to do around the region when you have a minute together?
Well, it used to be a lot of time spent on the Greenway, just loving to walk on the Greenway. Sometimes, I was mentioning this earlier, my son Michael and my nephew Sean own Old Salem Brewing. So a lot of times just like, well, let's go over there. I don't have to clean up. We can sit down with the family, or we can sit down with cousins or whatever, at my sisters, my brother, and just sit and relax a little bit. I don't have to clean. So it's hanging out there a little bit. I make sure I set aside 3 days a week that I do deep water aerobics with a group.
Interesting.
Over at Gator Pool, because I know I need exercise. And if I don't make an appointment with myself to do that, it's not going to happen.
So I love that. That's self-care in its finest form.
I try so hard. It's been years since I've been able to really make that happen.
Yeah.
And so I kind of very preciously try to protect Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I'm in with a group called Into Deep. And they're a wonderful group of ladies and one gentleman named Bob.
Thank you, Bob. You're doing a great job.
He does a great job. So, and we're exercising. So
that's great.
I do like to do that.
But you're putting yourself as a priority in that respect.
I never used to.
Whatever it is you're looking to seek to kind of find
right,
sort of refuge.
Right.
I think that's excellent.
I find a lot to do. I don't find a lot of time to do it.
Sure, I get. Well, and that's the thing. So, are you able to pack your family along for some of your governmental duties? And here we are. We're at a family activity day at Salem Park.
Right. Haven't done that a lot because my husband is busy volunteer coaching. He's retired too, but he still coaches 2 volleyball travel teams, one volleyball high school team, and 1 lacrosse team. So he's an assistant.
Creating young volunteer. I love it.
So it keeps very, very busy. But we do try to do things around in the area. We go to talks at Renee College. They have wonderful, phenomenal speakers. We'll go to that. We'll go to receptions. We'll go to alumni weekend. I like to try to attend a lot of the high school games and sporting events because we chased our kids all over the place watching them play. Rachel was a volleyball player. Michael and Daniel were football players on state championship teams. And lacrosse, oh my gosh. So we go to a lot of events because a lot of what I have to be at is like CIAA, NCAA championships that are hosted by the city of Salem because tourism is big for us.
Right.
That's the kind of thing I'm doing when there's free time, but it's not really free time. So yes, sometimes my husband will go with me occasionally. In fact, we worked a tournament for the volleyball championship that was here last year with the men's volleyball NCAA championship.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it.
I love that you're sports oriented in that fact.
I love it. I'm in the right city.
Yeah,
Salem, Virginia, championship city. I mean, Virginia's championship city. And I'll tell you what, John Shaner, Carrie Harvey Cutter, the group that worked that tourism angle with VBR, Landon Howard and his team, John, they are just phenomenal. They have brought so much to the entire valley.
Yes.
I mean, they are so good about welcoming others from the outside in, so.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to remember, listeners, because this isn't just our kids going to these games and playing. This is teams and families coming in from all over to come into our region and put money into our economic economy.
Exactly.
And I think that's really important to note that our leaders have made that happen because it only inspires people to continue to be here.
Oh, it's so neat. When I have people from the NCAA come in, and I'm talking to the coaches or the athletic directors, they're like, wow, this valley is so beautiful, and we'll have to come here for a vacation. And you've got the lake, you've got Roanoke River, you've got the McAfee's Knob just right up the road. You have so much in our community here.
Right.
And when we're bringing these teams in, I get reports from John Shaner that say we brought in 63 teams. There were, this many people that spent nights in hotels and this many people that were here. It's like so proud that Salem is helping the valley by making that happen, because we certainly don't have enough hotels in Salem to take care of everyone. So they're all over the valley. Right. And it's boosting the economy, which is so critical to giving to our citizens what they need, because we're getting the revenue from outside sources. Yes. So, I mean, it's just, it's a beautiful, rotating, wonderful thing to watch happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So real quick, where are you guys eating in Salem these days?
Eating.
Yes, because that's my favorite conversation is obviously food.
Okay. Oh, of course, Mac and Bob's.
Of course.
Mama Maria's, of course. We've got Gina's. We've got barbecue, West Main barbecue. We've got a lot of places.
You do. Salem is blowing up with great restaurants.
I was just at Lydia's, and I mean, there are so many neat places in Salem to stop in and eat at that, it's hard to leave. Of course, Frankie Rollins, if you want atmosphere.
One of my favorites.
Oh, my word. The one in Salem is unbelievable.
I know. I'll meet you there for a pineapple martini any day.
Oh, they are. They're the bomb. They're just so good. They really are.
That's perfect. So last, actually, a bonus question. Exciting things coming to Salem in a few years, or coming up that you can talk about, of course.
Yes. At this point, I can talk about Valleydale.
Right.
We do have an area developer, Ed Walker and Joe Thompson, are working on Valleydale being turned into these condo units that will be available for professionals to come and live in. And that's very, very exciting. We've got some other areas that are being developed along Thompson Memorial. There'll be a development. There's some up in North Salem area that will be developed. So those developments are exciting. We do have some businesses come in. There's one I can't really talk about right now, but we do
stay
have...
tuned. Come back later.
Yes,
we'll talk about
that's
that later.
exactly right. So we're trying to... Tommy Miller is doing an excellent job helping us fill the spots, but the most important thing is we want to make sure we keep the people that are currently here.
Of course.
And we do everything we can to build that relationship with our business owners. So that's real important. We want to hear what they need, and we'll do what we can to keep them here. And Wayne Atkins, who was in the interim, he made sure he was out in the community talking to business owners. He's done a great job keeping them here. So we have some great developments going on, some businesses that are coming to town. There'll be Tropical Cafe on Main Street, where the old Pizza Hut used to be. Jersey Mike's going to be there. So, yeah.
Lots of great stuff coming to Salem.
We've got things going on. It's always exciting. There's always something rocking and rolling. Joe's Deli. Oh, my God. Joe will kill me if I don't say Joe's Deli. Is if you want a sandwich that you can't put in your mouth because there's so much meat on it, try Joe's Deli.
You need to start doing our commercials. That's what's going to have to happen. I'm so excited because Salem is, I feel like it's always been one of those booming places and now it's just getting even more recognition. And so it's really exciting to see all of that coming. And of course, led by a female mayor. Yeah. That's so so great. Oh my gosh. We're just about out of time, but is there anything else you want to cover? I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. But
I talk fast, don't I? Get it all in.
Me too. That's all right. That's perfect.
Just that it's an honor to be able to serve in Salem, and it's a wonderful community that we have here in the Roanoke Valley. Work together, we play together, we travel together. We just, it's a great place to be.
Salem residents are so proud to be from Salem. I think, even if they just moved there, we're in Salem. We are so excited to be here. It's a beautiful spot. I mean, there's like no negative.
Right. See, I wasn't born in Salem, but I did move to Salem because it was the school system that I was hired to teach in, and I determined that at that point it was where I wanted my kids to go to school.
Well, I think they welcomed you with open arms, even if it wasn't immediate, Well, thank you so much, Mayor Turk, for being our guest on From Print to Podcast. Thank you.
Come back anytime.
Anytime. You're always welcome. Oh my gosh. And your presence and your leadership, thank you for all you're doing for our community, for Salem, for the region in general. Just thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
We are so incredibly grateful for your time. We know it's incredibly limited with your many responsibilities, but we can't wait to see more from Mayor Turk and all the fantastic things happening to and for Salem, Virginia. You can learn more about Mayor Turk and our other leading ladies, as well as get their best advice for fellow women on the rise in our latest feature in our March-April women's issue on newsstands now, or read more at theroanoker.com.